Today our special guest is Josh Hangstead. He's a character, no doubt.
Character.
Like I said, like we've mentioned before, we went to Washington State University. My freshman year I actually cheered there, and I met Josh there. He's a little bit older than us, so he was already on the cheer team for 2 years prior before I showed up. But yeah, man, he's a cool guy. On Instagram, and we'll tag his information down below. His Instagram page is Northwest Strength Academy, but it's actually NW Strength Academy. That's how you can find him on Instagram. What he does, he's a certified personal trainer, and he can help small or large groups when it comes to competitive cheering for younger teams, just up and coming teams. So they're trying to get them ready for college cheer, and if they want to go even advanced from that, they can go into. A lot of people from WSU go to the Portland Trailblazers cheer team.
Trailblazers, damn, yeah.
So, and he's from Portland, so it's a little
Yep.
cool
Go Blazers.
connection right there. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to having him on. Here's a good buddy of mine. I introduced Josh to Chamberlain. I want to
I think I met
say,
him, I remember New Year's Eve. We had a New Year's Eve outing, but I definitely met him before that. Did I meet him before that?
I think New Year's Eve might have been the first time because you weren't up here for the longest time.
I remember he had a flashy suit on. He's a flashy suit man.
He's a flashy guy. You guys will definitely like him. We're excited to bring him on, and I think it should be a good podcast for sure.
Yep.
What's going on, big man?
Nothing much, brother.
Long time no see.
Happy to be here.
Oh.
Happy to
buddy.
be here.
God, Mango, man. Mango's a
Boy.
character. I don't know. Dude, how you been, man?
Good.
Been a while.
Yeah, I've been busy.
Yeah.
It's awesome though. I mean, I'd rather be busy than bored, right?
Yeah,
Oh, damn straight, dude. Being bored's tough.
Yeah.
I know,
You
I feel
start
that.
doing dumb stuff.
I know.
Too
Yeah.
much free time on your hands.
Been there, done that.
Yeah, right.
Still doing it.
Still doing it.
Part time.
Yeah, every once in a while, right?
At what age do you just kind of like stop doing dumb shit? Ever?
No, so I figured out. So my stepdad went out on this every year. He goes on this trip called the Wheel of Cheese, and it's yeah, right. There's a story behind that. And they all go out on the sailboat and they go sailing for like a week, a whole week, and it's like 6 dudes. They get hammered, they get high, they eat tons, they go to bars, and just like they picked up a piece of driftwood and named it Log, right? Ooh, creative.
I love it.
Fucking
It's like
eyes,
Wilson.
put fucking eyes on it, and this one dude slept with it in his bed every single night. And Log came with them to bars. They put him down on his own stool, like
It's like plankton. Or no, not plankton. What's the?
yeah, no, it's plank.
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 Yeah.
Yeah.
I immediately jumped to Tom Hanks Wilson.
Yeah,
from
yeah,
Castaway.
that's what I thought. I'm like, they found it on a beach, totally.
Yeah.
Right.
And they're like 40, 50 years old. So.
So
it's-
dumb shit's happening all the
yeah,
time.
Yeah, no, we're just warming up. We're just learning how to do it.
I love it.
They mastered it. They
Hell
have
yeah,
a
dude.
full-time job and still do dumb shit.
I love it.
It's all balance though, right? It's
Yeah,
kind of just
right.
about like keeping yourself, level-headed and also being able to, have some fun, experience some things.
The ebb and
No
flow,
doubt.
man.
Yeah.
The ebb and flow.
Shit, dude, you drink whiskey?
Hell yeah, man.
Want
Right.
some whiskey?
All right, so we do a little roulette, or we just want to? How about you pick first, and we'll just go
Ooh.
down the line.
No, he wants Maker's Mark, man.
Yeah, it's
I
true.
think, hey,
Mark?
send it on all. You're the guest. You
You
got
know-
it. That's
you-
all you, big dog.
All of it?
We got ice cubes if you want it too. I just don't really drink with ice cubes because you taught me to get the flavor out of everything.
Appreciate it all.
Yeah.
Oh, so
Hey,
you're a whiskey guy. You're
Oh,
a real whiskey
oh,
guy.
wait, so
Freaking love it.
So for to just tell the audience too before we
Oh, yeah,
unload
sure.
up the other stuff. So what are the benefits of not having ice in a glass of whiskey?
Well, the second you put water into whiskey, it completely changes it. Like if you take 1 drop of water and drop it in there, I'm gonna get this wrong, so someone's gonna correct me.
Fair
But
enough.
like you get all the oils out of it, and so that first sip is super intense, and then afterwards it mellows out. So you get like this
Right.
really intense
Yeah.
flavor of whatever's in there.
Guilty. I've been there.
Yeah.
I've always drank it with ice cubes, and he said that, and I've honestly tried every whiskey I've not tried before. The first few glasses have been no ice.
Yeah, first sip, you just sip it, nothing, taste it, and then you put a drop of water in there, completely different sip.
Yeah, dude, it's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
Shit, what do you want around?
I'm taking Knob Creek.
Yeah.
Gotta do it.
Well, I realized
Sure.
we're a little bit short on table space. I was
That's
gonna
all
put it somewhere.
There you go,
We're
there
Ain't
you
gonna
go.
pawn it off.
Are you?
Bring it down.
Is this you? Are you doing gym?
Yeah, I'll do that because that Maker's Mark's pretty big, dog.
Oh no.
You sure you don't want some knob?
No, I'll take knob.
Yeah, there we go. I was like,
I
like,
thought you would never
yeah,
ask.
pass that up. Yeah, he was just waiting for you to offer. He was trying to be polite.
Exactly.
He's like, no, yes, thank you, finally.
If he didn't, I would have just been sitting there and I'm like, oh, damn it.
Cheers,
Hey,
boys.
cheers, brothers.
To the weekend. Fuck
To
yeah,
the
it's Friday.
weekend.
That's whiskey.
That's whiskey.
That's good stuff.
That's a day. That's a
What's
day.
your go-to whiskey?
Baker's 46.
Really?
Yeah, no, or like we call it bullet bourbon. We call that our table bourbon.
Oh,
'Cause
bullet
that-
bourbon?
Yeah,
Yeah.
because like we make cocktails all the time, so
Right.
it's like that's the go-to. It's good, but it's not like so overpowering. Like I wouldn't make a lot of cocktails with makers.
Yeah.
They would just
See,
overpower it.
That's exactly what we were
Right.
talking about this last time we bought whiskey. We were talking about how get like one decent bottle of whiskey, and then maybe we just get like a half G of like a mixer whiskey
Yeah.
of like Jack Daniels or Jim Beam.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that'd be-
Something simple, honestly.
Yeah.
Utility alcohol.
Yeah, right. I mean,
Yeah,
you're
for
gonna
sure.
well, and then also like if people come over, it's not like you're gonna pour in your nicest whiskey every single time.
Right. I mean, I probably would.
You probably would.
But it's always like I'm like obviously I'm getting better into the whole like sharing aspect of things, and like I feel better about it. But before, like we'd have some friends come over, and when I was growing up, my dad's a big whiskey drinker, so
Yeah.
so he'd always have all this whiskey. I mean, granted, he's spending more money on whiskey than I want to right now.
Right.
And so we'll have friends come over, and they'll take a glass, and then he's like, "Yeah, for sure, super nice guy. My dad's just a big ass teddy bear. Looks like an angry motherfucker, but
Oh,
he's
I
not."
know. The first time I saw him, dude,
Right.
he's got like leather bracelets
Yeah,
and all this,
dude.
all this
Really?
stuff, big old
Oh,
beard.
character
and he's
I
just,
feel like that's
and
what-
he's just
Yeah.
he's big. He's a big. I mean, you're a big boy
Right,
too,
right,
right?
right.
Yeah. First time I met him, I was like, "Oh, nice to meet you," and he's like, "Oh."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh, okay, I get it.
Yeah,
Okay, you're just
right.
like Kyler. Or Kyler's just
Well,
like you."
Yeah,
right?
dude.
Yeah.
So they'll be like, "Oh, like I mean, maybe people don't know him. They'll be like, oh, I feel like I should say yes." So they'll take the glass of whiskey that
Yeah.
he gives them,
Take
and then
it
all of
to
a sudden
the
they're like, "Wow, this is good." And then like at the end of the night, it'll be like, "God damn, where did the fucking bottle go? We don't have it
See,
anymore."
and that's where you get in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
You get in trouble that way, but also feel like you rather it's like saving like a bottle of wine for a specific occasion. Like if it happens every
Yeah.
weekend,
Yeah.
different.
Then like probably stop buying that $100 bottle of wine.
Right. So, yeah. What about you? What's your go-to hard day if you were to drink it on the rocks or straight? I guess that's kind of it's a very
Well,
short.
because
See,
I mean,
Go ahead.
no. What were you gonna say?
I was I'm a tequila guy.
Okay, there we
So
go.
I like El Padrino,
Okay.
which means
you got that right? That's what you have right here.
Yeah, it means
Yeah.
it means tequila from the cemetery.
Okay.
Or it means like something along those lines. So basically, just means like this tequila is gonna get you where you need to go.
So I think it means
Also
if you
just
drink
so
it, you're gonna
crazy, it's
die.
easy to drink.
So sign me
Whichever
up. Here we go.
translation.
Yeah.
But it's delicious. You gotta try it. I don't just drink tequila just in a glass, but
No. I love tequila. It's so much like whiskey, right? You know,
Yeah.
good tequila, they age it. And it's
Yeah.
got a lot of flavor to it.
You
I'm
have a
not
hangover with it
refined.
either.
I'm not
No.
refining my alcohol taste. I'm getting there.
Yeah.
But-
I like gin a lot. Just
I gotta
like-
get to it. I want to
It
try.
has to be in a cocktail, like
Yeah,
straight
right,
gin,
right.
like you have problems, but like
Didn't Ryan Reynolds aviation gin or something? I want to try that. I don't really like gin
good.
really, but maybe I don't know how to get a mixed drink with it. But I want to
yeah.
try aviation.
you can have like a crafted cocktail, like gin and tonic.
Tonic. That
It's,
yeah.
like, it's kind of a
Tonic.
cocktail.
That's what I drink when I'm trying to feel healthy.
Yeah, you gotta step your game up. You
Right.
might actually get a cocktail.
Right. Well, shit, dude. Actually, what I was gonna say, do you like Buffalo Trace?
Yes.
Yeah, I think Buffalo Trace might be my
Buffalo
favorite.
Trace
It's
is
pretty,
good.
pretty
Yeah,
cheap, honestly.
Yeah, no.
But it's good.
Yeah, it's solid, right?
Yeah,
it's
I
like
like
bullet.
it.
It's like it's just solid. You can't complain with it.
I know like
It's
yeah,
good
I
whiskey.
don't know a lot about whiskey. Like I don't know about I know like Bullet, Knob Creek, Maker's Mark, Pendleton,
Yep.
obviously, and then
Yep.
like I just know the popular ones like Proper 12. I don't
Yeah.
know
Right.
like good, really refined whiskey.
Yeah, but I mean, it's like such a rabbit hole, right? It's like,
Yeah.
what's good wine? Well, that's kind of up to you.
Personal
Yeah.
choice, you know what I mean?
But
Yeah,
perspective.
Hey, perspective is
There we
everything,
go,
which
there
ties
we
us
go.
into our next topic.
Bro,
What a crazy thing. That was solid right there.
That
You
was-
just
that
reeled
was-
that in.
That was so fresh.
for you.
All right, so one of the topics we were going to bring up was just how to recognize the moments you have right now and appreciate life as it's happening, but also striving for your goals still. And for an example that I really brought up with that was how, if you guys follow my Instagram page, I have a fitness Instagram page as well. So I have this goal that I want to get to this certain weight, or I want to look this certain way. And it's been like that the last year and a half, 2 years. But I sometimes lose sight in the fact that, okay, well, I've already come so far from when I started this journey, but I don't appreciate it as much because I'm just focused because I'm not at the goal I wanted it to be.
Right.
So it's kind of like what Christian was saying, perspective is everything, and that goes for like every aspect of your life.
Right.
But that was just one of the big things that I had, that I was just like, something that is a big part of my life is just trying to become more healthy, and it's like
Right.
I gotta be appreciative of how far I've come to still like shoot for my goals and still have the energy and drive to just finish it out. But
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, it kind of touches on what Christian was saying earlier about balance, right?
Right.
Like I feel like you do have to if you don't have any foresight and you're not looking down the road, then you're gonna wind up. It's kind of like setting a course on a sailboat with no, like, you know,
Right.
you're like, where are you
Right.
going, right? But then you also do need to look down at your feet and like, where am I at right now?
Right.
Right.
Yeah, so I think it's got to be a healthy balance between those two.
Yeah.
You know, it's almost like kind of bouncing back and forth. You got to do, you know, what am I doing right now? What am I doing each day? That's like my small thing, my little 1% to get
Right.
towards that goal.
Mhm.
But then every once in a while, you got to course correct a little bit and make sure that you're still aiming for that.
Get 1% better every day.
And for me,
1% better.
I feel like a lot of that perspective comes from, you know, being in your own shoes. When you look down at your own feet, you want to make sure that you're looking at your own feet and you're not looking at someone else's. Because you want to make sure that the course that you're on is what's best for you. And you also have to realize that's not going to come in a day. It's not going to come in a year or even 2 years.
No.
And once you become complacent, that's when things can get wishy-washy. And that is going to happen. But I think it's so important for us to kind of be able to take a step back and appreciate what we've done, where we're going, and also how we're getting there.
Yeah.
And so once you can do those things, I feel like it kind of can aim you in the right direction, and you're not just going by day, because there's a lot of people that will wake up, work out every day, and like they think, and like they might not be getting the satisfaction that might give someone else, or they're not getting out of it what it might give someone else. But I don't know.
Yeah, no, I think you said looking at your own shoes and like, I mean, it's the worst. I wouldn't say it's the worst for us right now, but like our generation or just anybody living right now struggles with comparison.
Yeah.
It's so easy. You could pop your phone open right now and you have all these perfect people in front of your face, whether it's on social media or just the internet in general, or you know what I mean. And you just
Right.
you get all the highlights of other people, and you're like, wow, they live this perfect life. And it's
Right.
like, no, they don't.
No.
Like they still go to sleep. They still put their pants on one leg at a time, and
Yeah, they're
they,
doing all the
they
same
wear
thing.
shoes. You know, it's like it's no different.
It's like how to eat an elephant.
Yeah.
One bite at a time.
One bite at a
One
time.
bite at a time.
You had me on that
Yeah,
one for a second.
right. Does that keep recording still? I don't know.
Yeah,
It still does.
that is a weird thing. I don't
Oh,
know.
cool. I mean, we're
It's
having
not
malfunctions. We're good though.
Yeah.
But at least we know when it turns off that we can still record it.
Yeah, screen timed out.
Well, shit. Not to take it off topic. I think like what he was saying, how people go to the gym and just like kind of routine wise, like I think a lot of I think people need to get specific with their goals. And obviously, I think it takes like trial and error to like know the specifics of it, but just going to the gym every day is like one thing that's great because
Yeah.
you're being active. But if you go to the gym and you're on your phone or you're not giving it your all, it's like my thought process on it is like, how much better would you feel knowing you don't want to do that every single day, but you want to go there and just try as hard as you can, and not even like you expect to be as hard as like you don't go to the gym expecting to do this hard.
Right.
You could not want to do anything, and like there's been many times where I've been wanting to do
Right.
anything, and then I start doing the one thing that I didn't want to do, and then like all of a sudden I'm like, oh, I got motivation now.
Yeah,
Okay,
and you're
now
like,
let's go.
oh, like I'm getting kind of good at this. Like I didn't want
Right.
to do this because I suck at it. And you're like, oh, I'm actually not that bad. Oh, I just got better. Like,
Yeah.
you
I
know,
also think it's really good to do things you suck at.
it's super important.
Because I think it's good for the ego too a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people, including myself, will like go on to a new hobby or something, and you're like, God, I suck at this. Why do I want to fucking do this? And you're like, well, actually, think it might be kind of cool. Well, I think you should stick with it. And I'm not saying I'm the only person that thinks. I'm sure a lot of people do, but I think a lot of people's mindsets are a little bit construed when it comes to goal setting and just, I mean,
That's kind of where you say you got to stay grounded
effort.
in
Yeah.
order to like meet where you want to go.
Yeah, well, and like struggle's part of it too. I think that a lot of the time, like we think that it's going to be like just because you make a plan, one doesn't mean that it's going to go according to plan,
right.
and two, it doesn't mean that
Almost
it's going to
never.
be. Yeah, almost never does it. If it does go according to plan, like something happened. That's luck. But yeah, it's like you know you gotta take it for what it is. You're gonna fail and fall down all the time. Like you want to learn how to skateboard, you're gonna have to accept the fact that you're gonna fall down.
Right.
And you're probably gonna skin your knee, and you can either just like cash it in and be like, nope, not for me. You'd be like, oh, that's just part of it,
Right.
right?
Well, I want to get your guys' perspective on this too, because so obviously, like you said, not everything goes to plan. So I've heard this saying quite a few times, and it's like some people have it, some don't. But it's why would I have a plan B, C, whatever, however long the list is? Because then in that mindset, it's like you're not giving it your full all towards plan A.
Mhm.
So it's like there's pros and cons on both sides for sure.
Right.
But I want to know what your guys' mindset on that, because like that kind of I like that thought process of like you shouldn't have a B, C, D, E, F, G. You should just have like an A or plan one, because that should be the only thing you strive for. But
Right.
it's easy to say it when I haven't done something extravagant to be able to live out of my car or be homeless or something to that extent. So I don't know.
Yeah, well, okay, so like if we take it into like the training world, they say that like say I make a program for a
Right.
Christian,
I need
and
one.
and he comes in, yeah, man, I'm gonna train you up, you're gonna get huge, and he comes in and you know, he didn't get a lot of sleep last night, work was rough, and obviously we're not gonna be able to hit it as hard as maybe we thought we were,
Right.
but we can still come in and get work done, and maybe we might even have to take things out of that plan to make it work. So it's like, did that plan really fail? Well, ultimately, no. We still came in and worked
Right,
out, and we got
worked.
work done, and we adapted. And I think that
Adaption.
and that's exactly where I was going. Is that you gotta set a plan for sure, and then like life's gonna happen. You know, I love Murphy's Law because nothing is more true. Like whatever can happen will happen.
Right.
You can't prepare
Damn
for
straight,
it.
right.
You have no idea a plane could come crashing through this window. Doesn't matter how much you prep for it. You're never gonna stop that plane coming
Right.
through the window. So you gotta adapt, right?
You gotta appreciate every moment too.
Yeah, you gotta adapt in the moment and realize what's going on and look at your surroundings
Love that.
and then make it work. Just make it work for the situation. It's not going to be 100%, but it might be 80. That's pretty damn
Right.
good.
Yeah.
Better than 0.
Yep.
Well, speaking about percent too, you guys know David Goggins.
Dude, he's unreal.
You ever want to feel like a piece of shit? You're not trying hard enough. Just look up David Goggins, honestly.
Motivational guy.
His video, the one that got me, is he was like, I didn't want to go running today, and I was making all these excuses, and I videoed myself,
Yeah.
and I sounded like a bitch. And I got the fuck up and I ran. And he runs like what, 20 miles every
Yeah.
day? I was like, God damn!
Calls and like
Stretches for 2 hours each
No.
day, mandatory.
Minimum.
And that's his minimum.
Minimum.
You watch, okay, so you saw that
Oh,
post.
yeah.
His feet were all fucked up, and he was talking about
His wife posted
His
it.
wife posted. Okay, yeah, you seen it.
Feet were busted.
Dude.
Running?
Dude.
For
I've
just
seen
like
a few
everything.
clips from him, but I haven't seen like the full.
He's got
full
this.
shebang.
He's got a. I'm huge into quotes. I think quotes can be very motivational. I'm just one of those guys. But something that he says that's really like changed the way that I work out, or more so like run, because I think lifting weights, most people who are trying to be active, they can finish their routine and they feel good about it.
Woo!
Dude, that's got to be
Lotion can't fix that, brother.
No,
That's
not
tough.
at all.
Yeah.
But David Goggins got this saying where when you think and you feel like you want to quit, you're only at 40% capacity. You can go so much farther, and that's why I'm getting into running more. I like running just because it's literally not athletic ability. A majority of it is, but
No, but it's
mentality.
It's a lot up here because it's like you can walk for a long ass time before you literally cannot walk anymore.
Yeah.
So it's like, what's it? Like, little dead man shuffle, just
Right.
kind of going.
Just keep moving.
It's like, yeah, I mean, you'd be surprised as hell.
Well, then, do you know what the Moab 240 is?
No.
Do you know what Moab, Utah is? Moab's a city in Utah.
okay, yeah,
And
yeah.
I've never been to Moab, but I know a lot of my buddies go to Moab and they like wheel their trucks and everything there. But it's a 240 mile. I don't know if it's a race, more just like a run, I would think.
Like
I'm assuming people
like
are.
survive.
Yeah,
I'm
I
sure
mean-
people compete it. There's always crazy.
Oh, no doubt.
Right.
In the beginning, before they even send them off, I don't know exactly word for word, but it's like the saying of it is like the race instructor, the whole thing is like, repeat after me, and they start repeating, and they're like, if I get lost, if I get hurt, if I die, and then they're like, and then they repeat it, and then they're like, it's my own damn fault. And I was like, fucking, all right, dude.
That's a race, man.
And that's insane.
Death race.
Death race.
David Goggins did that, and he ran off course because some of the markers were messed up. So it ended up being like a Moab, like 265 or something.
That's nothing for him. He was
And
probably like carrying
he-
people on his back.
No, he actually, he would have finished it regardless, but the medics actually had to come in and take him out. I refer a lot to
Oh, no
David
way.
Goggins and Cameron Haynes. If you know Cameron Haynes at all,
Uh-uh.
he's another good guy. Cameron Haynes, not to go off the other story, he runs a marathon a day and lifts weights, and he's a professional bow hunter. So he's a fucking badass, and he never takes a day off because
No.
he's in elk country. You got to get fucking strong for that, and you got to get like ready for it because you could be hauling off 100, 200 pounds off your back
Right. Well,
down a
not,
5 mile
Not to
mountain.
mention just hunting the animal, right? That's
Right.
a lot of freaking walking,
Yeah.
maybe even running if you're
Right.
really trying to get after it.
Yeah, climbing.
Yeah,
Dude,
climbing.
yeah. This will go to our next topic though, but like, I look at David Goggins, I look at Cameron Haynes, like, those are my two, kind of like being grounded. I ground myself to, this sounds kind of weird to say I ground myself to their beliefs, because that can be construed very differently, but like, seeing them do what they do and seeing where they came from just kind of goes to show you that it's like,
doesn't
There's,
matter.
it doesn't matter who you are. You can do it. And I mean, my mom actually had some breast cancer, and so I compare it to like the pain that someone will feel when they have cancer, or the pain that someone feels when they literally get the saying of, "Oh, you have 4 months to live." I'll never potentially ever feel that. I've not felt it right now.
Mm-hmm.
So the pain that I feel during a run or during a workout doesn't compare to the pain that someone has of saying like
Exactly.
you have this amount to live. So it's like that's a drive right there.
Just goes back to perspective.
It does.
It goes
And
back to perspective. It's like, how do you look at it? You think your life is tough? Guarantee you, you got running water. You got a bed. You got food. You got friends. You know what I mean? Like you got a car. Like that is wealth. Whether
Right.
whether we agree with that or not, that is wealth.
no doubt.
And so it's like, honestly, that's what grounds me is every single time I'm like, oh man, like, you know, you start your little pity party. Oh, it's so tough. Oh, I can't believe I had to deal with this today. Or, you know, everything didn't go perfect. And then it's like, man, people are hungry right now. Or like, there's someone without a house. Like, well, even in Seattle, right? There's tons of people
Oh
without
yeah,
houses.
absolutely.
People without a car, taking the bus to work. Oh, you think your life is rough? You got in your car and you drove 30 minutes home. This guy took an hour-and-a-half long bus ride, probably sitting next to someone he doesn't know.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well,
So it's like
Absolutely.
perspective.
And even just, I mean, it's not even Seattle alone. Disney just laid off 30,000 people because they don't have. I mean, I don't know exactly what Disneyland's doing right now in
Yeah.
California for like the whole COVID thing.
Right.
But I know my sister's been because she lives down there now.
Mhm.
So I don't know if since it's an outside area, like, can you only allow a certain amount of
Like
people?
a certain
Well,
number.
Or is
Disney
there-
laid off people not just at Disneyland, but like just in their corporate office.
Just Disney.
And they have Disney. They have like corporate
It's probably all
offices
over
here.
then.
Yeah, probably. I would
Okay.
say, but
That would make more sense actually. But that's crazy. Honestly, I can't imagine being one of the workers that just worked for unemployment.
Right.
Just hearing 30,000 people just got laid off, you're just sitting there like, oh my fucking god, what's gonna happen? In my
Right.
next few
And
weeks?
unemployment's like a trap, man. Like, you know, it pays you enough to not be like maybe even just right at the poverty line too. It's like
Right.
it doesn't always, you know,
get you.
get everything,
Over.
but then it's like you get a job, you work 1 hour, and it completely changes your whole payment. So
No
it's
doubt.
like, oh god, that's a whole rabbit hole we could go down for.
Oh.
I don't
Well,
think we have enough whiskey for that.
Oh, we might take an intermission, go get more whiskey, and we'll come right back. Nah. But yeah, dude, I think that goes into just having like, I mean, with unemployment comes new experiences though, because you kind of,
You
you don't know what's gonna happen.
You gotta venture out,
Got
right?
to.
I'm sure there's a lot of people who took jobs that they didn't want to, but they took it upon themselves. They're like, I'm not doing this anymore. I'm gonna get a job.
Mhm.
You could be like, I don't ever want to work at a fast food restaurant or
Right.
chain or something that you don't want to do. They're like, they took it upon themselves. They're like, you know what? I don't fucking care. I got shit to do, so I'm gonna take it upon myself. I'm gonna get shit done.
Yeah.
And I think like, I mean, we could all benefit from new experiences. Whether it's like having every week you do something you've never done before, or once a month, or something along those lines, where you just do something new because the mentality you get from doing that new thing, you could end up finding a hobby. Like, say, you just start doing kickboxing, like Muay Thai. And all of a
Right.
sudden, you could just fucking
Like,
fly
I
with that,
love
and love
it.
it,
You can, like,
and
do it
then
like 3 times a week.
you could end up. I mean, it's never too
Competing.
late.
Right.
You could be a teacher, instructor,
Who knows?
whatever the actual term is for like a teacher of that. Not even a sport. It's more than a sport.
Instructor, yeah, I don't know. But well, it kind of goes back to like being in the moment. Like setting goals is super good because it gives us direction. But then if you're too goal oriented, right, it comes back to balance. If you're too goal oriented, you might be missing out on the now. What if you just, you know, what if you're so focused on work that you didn't notice this one girl who was actually trying to kind of flirt with you, but it wasn't super obvious, and you're just
Right,
like,
you
oh,
have
I'm
to
so
stay present.
focused, right, that you don't even notice, or like, you know, you're looking for this one job, and there's this whole new, different job, different career that you could go down
Yeah.
and that you would actually love, but you were like, no, I have to go this direction. So it's like, yeah,
Right.
you gotta.
Sometimes I feel like instead of focusing too far on something that you might not get to in the next, like, you know, second day or third day, for me, what helps me is like finding comfort and like joy in little things that I can do, like a run in the morning, or, you know, just like getting your day started off on the right foot in a certain way that is like doable for you. And doing those things can open you up to doing like larger experiences that, you know, that are more creative rather than just staying in such like a small place. And so I feel like once you allow yourself to really be grounded is when you actually can experience the most things. So
Yeah.
it's like when you can like reach out the most and, you know, go hit a friend that you haven't seen in a while, or
Right.
go on a vacation that's like semi-sporadic with a
Yeah,
friend that lives
different
in town.
maybe.
Yeah,
than
it's
what you
gonna be
normally
different.
do.
And
Yeah.
yeah.
That's why I'm very excited to even just have you on today. It's like,
Yeah. Like this
obviously,
this is super new. Like talk about
Right.
new things,
Yeah,
man. This
exactly.
is freaking new.
And-
it's dope.
Yeah.
Like I'm enjoying myself. We're having
oh,
a blast.
dude, it's a good time. I mean, and it's the fact that like I think you could tell just from knowing us, we grew up very differently. Like just
Yeah.
from like what we did and like the shit
Yeah,
we
hell
enjoyed
yeah.
to do. So it's cool because then it's like, the older you get, you gotta plan like, hey, I want to hang out the next 4 months or something.
Yeah,
Like the older you get, because
oh
everyone's
my
got
God,
responsibilities.
seriously.
So then
Like,
it's
I'm
like,
booked out for the next 3 weeks. on
Yeah.
weekends.
yeah. So like it's
Next
cool because
Thanksgiving?
Yeah.
I could be
sounds
like,
good.
hey Josh, you want to do a podcast this Friday? And you're like, oh, I'm busy. And then he's got a bunch of his friends I don't even know, so we can just hit up his friend.
Right.
Right.
I mean, and this is all new to us. I mean, it's a brand new thing,
Shoot
dog.
Try
from
to
the
sit
hip,
down here and
baby.
just
Shoot
small.
from the hip.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Right. So
No, that's what's fun about it though is you guys are being in the moment and you're enjoying this
Right.
instead of like, okay, we
Right.
have to have this. Who knows where this could go?
Right.
Yeah.
You go 1,000 different fucking directions.
Yeah,
And instead of
exactly.
trying to set that one course, it's like, let's ride the wave a little bit. Let's
Exactly.
see what
Let's
happens.
just ride the wave and see what happens.
Yeah.
and what I hate about a lot of things is the fact that people will go throughout their whole life of just doing the ordinary, the mundane routines because they're used to it. They're comfortable in it.
Well, it's safe.
You grow outside your
It's safe.
Yeah, exactly. You grow outside your comfort zone, and it's like the most fearful thing to have like on your deathbed is untapped potential. Because I mean, we
Absolutely.
can think about what that means right now. We will have a completely different understanding when we're
80, 90.
exactly.
Or who knows? I mean,
Shit.
technology's crazy. 120, who knows?
Maybe I might die in the next 2 years. Outside
Yeah.
perspective is everything. You gotta live in the
Bro,
moment.
right.
There's play.
Yeah. But that's for real though. Like,
Right.
people get in car accidents. Like,
Yeah.
like stuff happens.
Life
I think,
happens.
I think what you said really resonated with me is like, you said like small things that you find joy in. I call it finding the small victories. Like find your small
Yeah,
victories
dude.
in the day. Like I really love sitting down having a cup of coffee in the morning, and maybe it's only 5 minutes where I
Yep.
just sit there. I just sip my coffee and I'm like, I enjoy this coffee.
rushed.
It's nice and quiet. Usually it's like dark outside or foggy or whatever's going on in Seattle, and you're just
Right.
sitting there and it's all quiet, right? Like I find joy in that. That's a
Yeah.
small victory
Right.
for me. If I miss my coffee, I'd be like,
Damn, I missed my coffee.
now like, I really look forward to that.
Yep.
But that's such a small thing, right?
No, it 100% is. We started buying HelloFresh, so we're trying to
Oh.
focus on like not drinking as much on the weekends.
Yeah.
Every weekend, I mean, he works on the weekends, but every
Yeah,
like we would do the
HelloFresh.
same shit though. So we'd wake up. I feel like ass. He'd go to work. I honestly think being hungover and moving is a lot better than just laying my fat ass on the
No,
couch. not
it's so
doing
much. It's so
anything.
much worse when you just sit there and bathe in
It is.
yourself.
Right. And so now that we're doing HelloFresh, we've like had days we're not really drinking, and I wake up when I'm not working during the week.
Yeah.
In the weekend, I'm like, I can't remember the last time I've not had a rush cup of coffee. I was like, holy fuck, this is amazing.
Yeah. and you
Oh, I
sit
have
down-
one every morning.
Yeah.
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 I have one every morning too. I sit on the couch and I look out and I
Yeah.
say,
Oh, and you got a freaking killer view.
Brisk
no
air.
airplanes. Yeah. Killer view. Brisk air.
I mean,
balcony.
nothing.
we also just had smoke the last 2 days.
Oh, dude.
Dude, what's the next 2020 thing? We're gonna have like a La Nina, a hard ass winter storm.
Bro, you know what? Bring it. Bring it.
That's the icing to the cake right there.
Nothing can stop us right now. It's like we've been locked in our house, and
Yep.
then we got a little bit of
Pandemic,
freedom, and then we
fire.
got locked back in our house.
Yep.
It's like the thing that's let's go back to let's pull it full circle. Like be adaptable.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like 2020 has been shit. Okay, true, but has there not been positive? Like I think there's been tons of positive.
Yep.
Many people are working from home now. They probably like that more. And now
Yes.
people can forever now work from home.
Right, spending more time with your family.
Exactly.
I don't know about
Focusing
you.
on more,
I spent a ton more time with my family.
Right.
Yeah.
Went and, like family dinners and stuff because I was like I want to check up on my mom and my dad and see my brother. Well, I mean I live with my brother, but like I want to see my other brother and my
Right.
sister and small stuff like that. But I think the biggest thing that COVID gave me was perspective. Because it's like it was like almost like forced
Amen to
isolation.
that.
Forced isolation, right?
Absolutely.
So it's like what do? You kind of reflect a little bit. And after I did all the shit that I wanted to do, like sleep in super late, drink as much as you want, eat as much as you want,
Right.
play all the video games, be a lazy sack of shit, then I was like, what are the things I
Right.
actually want to do?
Right.
Because that was just fun. That was fun in the moment. I'm angry.
Come on, bud.
We got a dog running around here. We're trying to make him have fun too, though. He could be our guest too. I mean,
Yeah, he
shit.
is.
He's like, why are you all sitting in,
Yeah.
in this
He's like,
room?
why are you guys all sitting in the corner right now?
Yeah, he's like, oh, I'll just come over here and get pet by
I
everyone.
know, dude.
You're good, bro.
No, obviously, like Christian was saying, I'm watching the dog for a friend of ours, and
Friend.
I passed out on the couch, and I woke up, fucking sack of shit, and the dog's just all cuddled up next to me, and I'm like, dude, this is why I want a dog right now.
Right?
But we got a crazy ass neighbor, dude.
Yeah.
I was out, so
Talk
granted,
Lack of being able to adapt.
yeah,
Is
she
our next
is
door
not
neighbor.
an adaptable person,
Okay.
but I went outside. I used to smoke cigarettes a lot, and so I went and smoked one outside, and she came out and she was smoking. I was like, okay, reasonable, I'll throw it out. And then, like, I don't know, 2 weeks later, I'm grilling on a barbecue, cooking some hamburgers, feeling great.
Yep.
She comes around the corner, she's like, hey, there's no smoking here. And I go, oh no, it's like a barbecue. Like, I figured you could, like, smell the difference or whatever. And gotta respect the elders.
Yep.
And
She get upset still?
yeah, she
So
goes,
you're not allowed to
there's
grill
no
burger?
smoking here. And I go, she's like, you should at least let me know when you go do that. And I go, I honestly I mean, we were all raised, I think, very similarly in our morals and everything, but I'm also like, you smell something? Shut the fucking door.
Yeah. Or like, I'm not gonna text you every time I cook dinner. Like,
Yeah, I'm like, hey, do you want to call? Hey,
hey, Grandma, I'm grilling.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm like,
Yeah,
do
absolutely.
you want to come over for a burger or something? Let's
yeah.
go.
I'll toss you one over to your balcony. Put your hands out.
Oh, dude.
Wild.
And she's huge because you can see through each.
She's huge.
No, you
She's
can
frail.
see through the
She's
huge
frail.
hole,
Yeah.
the huge gaping hole between each balcony. And I'll look over there, and she wanted to meet him one morning, so
Yeah.
we brought him out, and we brought him out. I said it like he's just like a hermit.
You can't own people in this year
Yeah.
2020.
You know, so he walked out there.
Bad timing, bro. Bad timing.
Christian walked out there to meet her, and very into the 6 foot distance, more like 12 feet, just
Okay,
looking
that's, you know.
in the corner of like her own balcony, like sitting far away. She's like, hey, and I'm like, why? Okay, at this point, why are we here?
Yeah.
But it's like
You
I don't
asked
know.
for this,
I
actually.
know. But
So real quick, I wanted to jump back to the whole what Josh saying on forced isolation. I feel like forced isolation it let us like gain more perspective on like our familiar relationships or like the people we're close with, and I feel like that kind of took us all to a place that we were all familiar with, in the sense of like we had to reach out to the people that were like closest to us that we like knew like where they were going or like where they were going in the sense of like who they are to us, and I feel like
Yeah.
that kind of took everyone back to the same place. No matter what your upbringing was, everyone got to take a look at like in the mirror, like harder than you might have, because a lot of times you can skate by. Like I skated by 2 years in at college. Like you can skate by years,
Oh,
and I feel
easily.
like this pandemic and like everything going on with the social injustice that's going on, or like that not that's going on, but it's been brought to the limelight more
Yeah.
so.
Yeah.
It's given an opportunity to everyone to kind of like take a look in the mirror and like kind of really evaluate.
Right.
Right.
I mean, evaluate your values, and your relationships. I mean,
Right.
just like you said, like it was crazy. I was sitting at home and I was like reaching out to friends I hadn't talked to in a long
Right.
time because I was like generally, I wouldn't say concerned, but just more like I want you to know that I'm still your friend and like I love you and I like
Right.
let's talk more. Like I reached out to my buddy that I used to work with all the time, and I hadn't seen him in forever. And him and I spent like 2 years together, and we traveled working for this company. We literally shared rooms for 2 years,
Damn.
and I hadn't talked to him in months. And I was
Yeah,
like,
that-
"Yo, man, how you doing?" He's like, "Oh, good. I'm doing this." And we were just talking,
Yeah.
just bullshit. And another friend that I reconnected with, he came up to visit, see a bunch of people.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
like, it's like you gotta. It was more so like if it's important to you, then make it a priority.
Right.
exactly.
Everyone took a breath and could really
Yeah.
like put those dots on the line rather than like
Yeah. Yeah, stop bullshitting and,
Right.
and like be real about what's important to you.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think, have you seen that Netflix documentary, The Social Dilemma?
Okay, I haven't watched it yet.
So we watched. He told me to watch
You
it.
delete your Instagram?
Not yet.
You thought about it now?
I thought I'd delete my Twitter.
Yeah.
It just made me think. That it, just like you said, you just met up with the guy for 2 months, or you lived with him for 2 months. Is that what you said?
No, we traveled for 2 years together.
2
it's
years
like,
together.
Yeah, it was like 2 whole. You can call it like seasons.
Okay.
So it was probably like I guess when I say 2 years, it was probably more like it was like 10 months.
I get what you're
Right.
saying, man.
But
like,
still, it's like
still
that's a substantial
that's a long
substantial amount of
time.
time.
Like sharing a room with somebody and like that's a roommate, right?
But I think like that's why the social dilemma can kind of benefit, because I think more people now in this day and age are a lot more aware about just everything.
Mhm.
And I think, I mean, not even saying everyone's watching the social dilemma. I'm talking about like politics,
everything.
equality, all this shit, dude. Like, I think more people are very aware of their surroundings and everything, but the social limit's like, all right, well, you can live with him for 10 months, and then you couldn't see him, say you didn't see him for 2 years, but you got Instagram. You're still talking back and forth. I mean, imagine if you went that 2 years without Instagram, and you're like, holy shit, dude, how the fuck have you been? You have
Right.
such more intimate conversations, and you don't, and it goes with like the self-confidence that everyone has,
Ooh,
where they're like, oh, I mean, we had a conversation, but I also talk to you all the time on Instagram. Now it's like, holy shit, I want to actually know how the fuck you've been and like what you've been
tell
doing.
me,
Yeah.
not like I saw your Facebook. Wow,
I saw your
that's-
Instagram story. You know
Damn,
what I mean?
dude, you just flipped me on my head because all the time I'm like, oh, well, I keep up with them, and they're like, how do you keep up with them?
Yeah.
Exactly.
I see when he posts, I'm like, oh, you did this. That's
I mean, I'm
new.
guilty of it too, though.
Yeah, right.
No
No,
doubt.
but I mean, like, once perspective.
Right.
I'm like, oh man, you're right. Like, instead of it's more like passively.
Passively.
Following your friends, right? Yeah, I
Exactly.
guess following is a
But
good term because
engaged.
that's how social media is. You follow them,
Right.
Right.
But yeah, it's like when you actually FaceTime your friend and you're like, yo man, what'd you do this week? Or like, what's been new? Or what are you shooting? You know,
But even if you FaceTime your friend, sorry to cut you off, say you're
No.
talking for 2 months in a row, like once a week, and you FaceTime, it still won't be as personal. I mean, like, obviously everyone strives to be like a personal, like,
yeah,
it
almost,
won't be as
almost more
personal
like
as
more, not as significant.
Right. It would be way more significant if you were just not talking to him. I mean, and that's like a double-edged sword. Like, obviously, I
Right.
like Snapchat because when I was in college and I'd drive back home, I wouldn't tell every one of my friends, oh, hey, I'm home. I would just post a picture of me, like, I don't know, finally made it to the
Everyone
west
does
side.
that.
And then,
Yeah.
and then someone's like,
Everyone does that.
oh, hey, man, you're in town? What's up? And I'm like, oh, this is why social media is cool.
Gratification.
Yes.
Yep. Instant gratification.
Yep.
So, I don't
Yeah.
know. It's
Versus having to like advertise, you're like, I'm going home. Who else is home?
Right.
Would you like to hang out?
right.
There's something that Kyler says often, like, what is more important, like your 80,000 followers on your social media account or your close friends? And I feel like when you allow your close friends to become the people you're following, and like you're kind of seeing them as one as the same, you're looking for the same instant gratification in the same places, just with a different group of people, you're gonna get the same results.
Right.
But you have to kind of branch out and engage, like we said, rather than just follow. And that's kind of when you can actually make some like leeway into like building that relationship back up. And I feel like that is like a positive in like this bleak year.
Yep.
Is that it's giving people the opportunity, like I said, to take a breath and just kind of like reevaluate.
Yeah.
And
Well, it's
that's
like, would you rather have
huge.
1,000 pennies or 4 quarters?
Right.
It's like, same with the 80,000 followers, whatever. It's like, you gotta get a strong core, and it's like the.
1,000 pennies is $10.
But I'm saying, like, it's the fact that you have a ton of friends
I know what you're saying.
as opposed to just 4 like solid friends. It doesn't matter what
I
number.
get what
it
you're
is.
saying, actually.
You're
I
just
do.
giving me shit
Yeah,
right
I know,
now.
it's just so smooth.
I honestly was not ready for that follow up, and I
No,
was like,
that
God
is
damn it, I was
right,
cut
that's
off
what
guard.
got
That's
me.
not what I'm trying to get at. You got numbers guy over here. Fuck me, man.
Look at this nerd with math.
Yeah, where are your glasses
I get what
at?
you're saying.
You got braces too,
I
dog?
can't see anything right now.
Well, no, dude, it goes with the.
No, but it's so true. It's like this is the way I like to think.
This
about it.
sounds like a conversation over another glass of whiskey.
Pour it up, baby.
I'm gonna take some Jim Beam this time.
Oh.
I'm
That's a
trying to
good
drink
hobby.
like
That's bitter.
without getting those in there, so I'm trying to like just like
Right.
sip it in.
That's a bitter for right now.
The Knob Creek is bitter. It's like hard to just casually like.
Yeah. I think Knob Creek is good with an ice cube.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, same with 46. I like
I think
46
Knob-
with an
yeah.
ice cube. One ice
Right.
cube, just enough. Cools it down a little bit.
Yeah.
Sure.
Takes the heat off.
I'm not mad about it.